So we have another problem here. Okay, so I'm just gonna read this part right here. Okay. The angle of depression of an object refers to the angle whose initial side is the horizontal line above the object and whose terminal side is the line of sight of the object below the horizontal. Okay, so that almost doesn't make sense, right? But this is basically what it's saying. Say there's a person, okay, that's this person, and this is the eyes, and this is the line of sight. Like you will look horizontally. So this is what you call your horizontal line of sight. Okay. Now, for instance, this guy right here starts to look without bending his body or his head, just rolling his eyeball down. There is, like, say, a stone here. Okay. There's a stone here, and he wants to look at the stone. So, this is going to be your terminal side. Okay. And so, there is an angle that's created between the horizontal and the line of sight. Okay. So, this is your angle of depression. So basically, in this line, it says here, whose initial side is the horizontal line. So that's the horizontal line, that's the initial side. And whose terminal side is the line of sight. So, in an angle, you always have two sides, right? So basically, it's looking this way and then rotate his line of sight down. That's why it's called angle of depression. Okay, so now let's move on to the actual problem. From a fire tower 200 feet above the ground, above the level ground, so it has to be a level ground, in the Sasquatch, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, National Forest, ranger spots a fire off in the distance. So let's draw the tower. I'm not very good at drawing, but let's say this is the tower here. Okay, so that's a really bad looking tower. Okay, I don't know. Let's say this is the tower. That's a really bad looking tower. But okay. So there's this guy right here above, somewhere here in that tower. Um, okay, so and this is 200 feet above the ground. So this is 200 feet above the ground. Okay. The angle of depression is 2.5 degrees. All right. So and there is this fire right here, seeing the fire from a distance, and this is his horizontal line of sight, and he's looking at the fire right down there, and this degree is 2.5 degrees. Okay, so that's the angle of depression. How far from the base of the tower? So this is the base of the tower. Okay, this is the base of the tower. How far is the fire? So basically we're asking for how far is this all the way here. What is that distance? Okay, so if this is your angle of elevation by um in geometry, you have that alternate. If you have parallel lines and you have transversal, this angle is equal to that alternate interior angles. That's the same concept here, because if this is horizontal line and this is a level ground, therefore they're both horizontal, so therefore they're parallel. The line of sight becomes your transversal line, so therefore this angle right here is also 2.5 degrees. Okay, now just concentrating on this. Let's take this triangle right here from the tower, the ground, and the line of sight. Okay, that's 2.5 degrees. Let me make a smaller version of that so it's easier to see it. Okay, so this will be your, this is 2.5 degrees, this is 90 degrees, this is 200, and the question is x. Okay, so that's a simplified version. If this is your reference angle, that's your reference angle. So therefore your x, that's going to be your adjacent side, and the 200 is going to be your opposite side, right? And so if you have opposite and adjacent, that would mean you can use tangent. So you have tangent. So remember your SOHCAHTOA. I don't know how much you remember about these things. Okay, so if you have opposite over hypotenuse, you can use sine. Adjacent over hypotenuse, you can use cosine. Opposite over adjacent, you can use tangent. So now we can say tangent of 2.5 degrees is equal to opposite over adjacent. So that's 200 over x. And so now we cross multiply this, you put over 1, so you have x times tangent of 2.5 degrees equals 200. If you want to solve for x, you divide both sides by tangent 2.5. Okay, and so therefore your x is going to be whatever is the answer to this. Make sure your 2.5 is in degrees and not in radians. Sorry, I don't have a calculator. Okay, hope this helps.